Hey, welcome back everybody, back in the garage here with Jazzy yet again. And Brad.
Hi.
Brad's still here. We ran into those problems, so he's here. We're trying to work through them. But we're carrying on with Chaz. Of course, we had the issues last week with the exhaust studs. Snapped a few of those. Had a busted up alternator that couldn't seem to find anybody that would bother even opening it to tell us what can be done. So we're buying a new one. But as we're going on with that, we got some parts coming to deal with the broken head studs. We got the studs taken out. Some we managed to get out, and some we had machine shop take out from the heads for us. And we're going to be able to start reassembling, just waiting on a few parts to come in here this evening. But we're going to keep trucking with that, get the engine reassembled, get her back in, get her fired up, and then finish off welding and carry on. But thanks very much everybody for watching videos, coming back to see them again. Smash the like button for me if you haven't already. Share the video for me. Leave a comment. Subscribe if you haven't. And really appreciate all of you that watch. Here we go. Alright. Brad's hard at it here, doing the dirty deeds of just Varsol bath, cleaning parts, getting things ready. Got the engine sitting over there in the stand, waiting for a few pieces to come in, so we put heads back on. Just push rod tubes in, seals. Of course, the seals for push rod tubes are what we're waiting for tonight, and we'll be able to start getting that put all back together. Probably tomorrow, at some point, we're going to be able to get the rest of the engine things on, everything buttoned up, and we're going to stick it back in the Chaz. But tonight, we're going to keep on going with cleaning pieces, get the heads on, and be in position to get the rocker assemblies on, and get her back in rust. Brad's done some awesome work on parts. There's the intake manifolds all cleaned up, painted. There's the brackets that we had to do some work on to get them. They went to the side of the frame for each side. The rear support bar. There's the rear support bar. Cleaned all that up, painted nice. Other intake tube, and a whole bunch of engine tins and bits and pieces are all cleaned up pretty now too. These are all things we weren't going to bother with for now, but got new alternator coming, like I said, and there's the brackets around the alternator. All the different tinware pieces on the floor, but they're all cleaned up, a nice little coat of paint, looking real sharp, and we're going to be reassembling this and getting ready. There's the pins for the top, probably hard to see there. The top pins there as well. So the next 36 hours, 24 I suppose, we'll be assembling the engine as parts come in and getting her back into us. Let's do it. A couple of things going to be going on today. Brad's going to get fired up and get some of the things together on the engine because we got parts. German Supply, germansupply.com. If you have any questions on a bay bus, I recommend you give Scott a call. Wealth of information, very, very helpful, and they will ship stuff to you next day if you need it quickly. We got our stuff, we shipped for next day. Unfortunately, it didn't get out in time when the day we were shipping it, so it is here today. Just over a day to get here, but we are in good shape. Got all the seals to get the push rod tubes back in, push rods, put the rocker assembly on. We have new studs for the rocker assembly. We have new nuts and washer kits for those. I think they're 7mm at the top of that. Don't recall exactly, but we are set up so we should be able to get this engine all put back together, get all the tinware back on it, get the injectors, get everything hooked back up. We have some seals for the input shaft of the transaxle. Anyway, a bunch of parts that we're going to throw together, try and get this engine assembled and get it back in the bus. Let's do it. we go again. We're still. So, engine's reassembled. All the stuff's back on top. Got everything cleaned up really good. So all the fuel injections back on, all the electricals back on, new spark plugs. We have a set of new wires coming, cap rotor points, etc. But those things haven't got here yet, so we'll fire it up and run it like this again once we get it in. We haven't torqued the rocker assembly. I'm just going to twist this up a little bit. So rocker assembly nuts, these four, those are not torqued yet. They only get torqued to 10 foot-pounds. Then we're going to set the valves. My torque wrench, its very, very lowest setting claims it's 10 foot-pounds. I don't trust it. So I've ordered a new torque wrench. It will be here sometime this evening. And we are going to torque those in, put the rocker valve covers on, put the engine in the bus. We still don't have exhaust, but there's no studs in the heads now, so we're going to put brand new studs in. We do have 4, and I have 8 more on the way, or 4 more on the way. So I'll be able to put those in when those parts arrive, but the engine will be in. We'll be able to hook everything up again, fire it up again, make sure everything's working properly, and then we'll carry on with some of the welding on the bus that used to happen, but that'll take care of that section. Inside the bay, not super easy to see, but we did pop the seal out of the input shaft of the transaxle. So we did the seals that are very difficult to get to. We did not do the seals on the axles. They're very easy to do later on, as well as they're perfectly bone dry. So didn't want to take them apart. Right now there's no evidence that it's even needed. You know, by the end of summer we might have a leak because this vehicle has sat for a long time, but right now everything looks good, full of oil, no drips, everything seems to be working out. But we're just waiting for one tool so we can torque those, set the valves, and pop her back inside the car, and hopefully send Brad back home soon. I think, yeah, we're going on the 3rd week, so we got to get him home. Anyway, we're going to keep at it, and we'll keep posting. Cheers. We're still waiting for a delivery. Dark out, but we're determined to get the rest of the engine stuff buttoned up. But while we're waiting, we started trying to clean off some of the aluminum case here, and as you can see, where we kind of managed to clean some of it. That's the kind of old, dirty, grimy part of the fan shroud, and then we started to kind of sand, clean it up a little bit, and then polishing it up and using like Scotch-Brite pads on a drill pad, and started kind of cleaning it up. But it's cleaning up pretty good. I personally really like that nice look. I'm not sure what kind of things you could do to it so that it would retain that look, if you can clear coat it or what. But if any of you guys watching know what we could do with that, or have a better idea of what we can do to finish cleaning it up, and maybe not this time, but we are going to totally tear this engine down in the next year or so and do main bearings, rod bearings, hone and put new rings. We're going to do the whole bottom end and everything else. Right now we just wanted to get everything in, but we'll be good for the year, enjoy the summer, and next winter we'll be breaking her down. But at that point we'd like to do something with this fan shroud to make it really look good. Let me know what you think. Cheers. Alright, here we go again. Engine's back in. Bolted in on the transaxle, gonna install the bar across the back, and then start getting everything else connected again. Electrical, fuel line's already on, starter's already on, those things underneath are buttoned up. I'm just gonna get everything situated in here, but it's looking pretty sharp with that nice cleaned up airplane under the fan shroud. I like it. Keep going. Cheers. There's Brad sitting in the engine bay like a hobbit. Well, not so much this time, but the last couple of shots when he was tucked away inside the hole. Pretty funny. Anyway, Brad's just in there finishing up connecting things. I think he's doing the brake booster cable now. We'll hook up the oil pressure sensor and throw the air box in, hook up the vacuum lines, and we should be able to fire up again. Okay, another update how we're making out here. Lights dying in there, but engine's back in the bay. All the tins are in, everything's hooked up. Got the fuel pump relay switch working properly so everything functions when you fire up. It's running okay. Got a bad exhaust leak still, but the exhaust is now on as well. Still got a gasket to do, got to get more hardware in there, but that's buttoned up. Now I'm just kind of doing some wire tracing to sort out his lights and mark those, label them while we have the two of us here going at it. Got the headlights sorted out. There's a low beam on one side not working. We'll figure that out. Signal light flasher is out, but I have a spare one of those. We'll get that squared away. And then a lot of the functioning running lights and horn and all those things are functioning. So pretty much gonna wrap it up here. Just gonna play with these things. Probably take it for a little lap around the block once we get the lights sorted and actually drive it around the block without no real issues. Insurance is on it, it's registered and plated, so we'll be able to do that. After we get that squared away, we're just going to bring it back in, and I'm going to sit here and weld these corners in, weld the side panel that's got to go. I put this bottom strip in there, the pinch welder, that's nice and quick. Just get some of the welding finished up, do any little body shaping that needs to happen. There's two low spots on the far side. Going to take it over to the body shop, and we're going to use the welder, the dent puller, just to lift that out and square that away, just kind of square up the metal panels. And yeah, once we go from there, we'll have to see what happens. Of course, I still have to close this B-post, but that'll happen before I go to the body shop. So some welding, finish up the B-post. Got to finish up closing the section of the top of the floor right there, that angled section. Got to finish that, and then we're going to hit the body shop. Once the body shop piece is done, we're going to move on and pull the glass, windshield, and all the backside ones. Not going to do the two doors, front doors. Just making sure that the sills and everything are good in there. But that'll be probably a couple weeks out. So I will maybe capture a little bit more here yet tonight. We'll have to see. Maybe I'll have a test run if we got things squared away. Anyway, we're going to keep on trucking. So here we go. Alright, quick update. I don't know if you can see what's going on with Chaz there today, but Chaz lost her top. So, help Brad out a little bit and pull the pop top off so that we can do some repairs to the fiberglass and things in there. I've got to work today, so I'm just out here to take a quick little shot of what he's doing when he went to get some supplies. But top's off, and we have it setting in here where we can work. So we already started cleaning things up, got all the old canvas off, and got some fiberglass repairs to do in these corners. We've got to do a strip along here, and here it's separated. See anything going under there. So we're going to get that all glued up, refiberglass all of that stuff back together, get things squared away today and tonight. Once that's set up and cured, I'm going to flip this thing over, set up sitting still on the stands, and we're going to give the outside a good cleanup. We'll sand it and let it get it sprayed. Probably just an off-white or whatever Brad chooses. Doesn't have to be anything fancy, but it will be nice and clean. It had been painted with that spray bomb or something, I think, at one time in its life. But we're gonna clean that up, give it a good coat of paint, and then hopefully this can go back on the bus. Maybe even tomorrow morning, Saturday, and Brad's gonna be heading back. But once we have this squared away, put the new seals on all the way around this edge, put the new canvas tent in that staples in on the inside of these wood pieces here, all the way around on these edges, all the way around in there, big square where it staples onto that with these pieces on the inside. So have the canvas in here, lays down, stapled once, lay this over top, staples again, and the canvas comes down over top of it. Anyway, we'll probably show how that goes together as well. But Brad's going to keep working at this. I'm going to be up in my office and do a few more hours of stuff up there. And then we're going to keep trucking this evening, get this thing squared away so that we can get the canvas in it and get it back on the bus. Maybe even attach the canvas to the top, depending on how things look up there. And then that's another big job out of the way. For me, if we can get that done, Brad heads back home, back to Cape Breton. It gives me about 3 more weeks, evenings, weekends, to finish the welding on the outside here, both corners of that fender, and get those 2 spots on the inside done, a repair to the dog leg, and we'll be pulling windows and checking window sills after that, fixing what we've got to fix, and getting the windows back in with new seals. Kind of where we're at. It's coming along. Let's do it. All right, taking a little update here, taking a look. Things are, Brad's got the rear member back here all sorted out. This back quarter is all fiberglass. For fiberglass underneath this wooden piece, fiberglass it down, it folds out this edge. Then there's another piece that goes onto this edge up here and does a 90 all the way across back where the crack was. This is all repaired in and cleaned up. All the mounts are refiberglassed back in place, multiple pieces going around the corners and angles, and it's all looking good. Put a little bit of second coat of resin on this guy, and they're all looking really decent. There's a couple of spots we're going to do a little bit more work on, and here got a little bit of lifting, but it's pretty minor. We're going to do a bit more on that guy. Going to add a second, maybe even a third layer, just because that block is sitting a little bit low in that space. And that, yeah, we're just gonna try and bring him up a little bit and just build that up. Put a second layer on it with thick fiberglass cloth. We'll drill out the holes that go into this block and that block on both sides for the hinges. Make sure those are fitting okay. And once that's done, we're going to flip this over on the sand and prep for some painting on the tops of this. Then once that's dry, we'll flip it back and we are going to install the new canvas. Let's do it. Chaz got a new floor mat. Still need kick plates. We got a solution coming for those. But a nice new mat. Dancing. Fantastic. Fancy. All right. Got the fiberglass stuff all squared away on the bottom side. We'll do a few more checks on it before we finish things up, but flipped it over. Everything's all cured underneath there. Started sanding down some of the chip paint surfaces and stuff on the pop top. It's looking pretty good. Got to finish the sides and each of the grooves, but the big panels in the center, those are all kind of done. Sending it down to 120. We're going to finish cleaning this up tonight. Going to give it a coat of self-etching primer and hopefully get everything squared away. Maybe give it another sand at 220, prime it again, and then hopefully tomorrow we can give it a couple of coats of paint. This one wants to use an off-white paint that'll be decent for on fiberglass. Doesn't need anything special necessarily, but it's not too bad. There's no big cracks or anything in the fiberglass that need to be addressed. We fixed a few of the things underneath. Might put some resin in these little holes drilled into the side. Somebody probably see those. Probably mounted something to the edge at one point in her life, but it's not too bad. We've got a pop rivet to fix here for the main bracket that goes in the front to lock down the nose. We take the screws out at the back there that are for the grab handle inside, and finish sanding this. Get a couple coats of primer on, like I said, and trying to get some paint on it. Then tomorrow we'll be able to flip it over, mount the tent inside, and put it back on the bus. We can do that. That would be a huge step forward. Had the bus running again tonight. It's running a little off. Not really sure what's going on with it, but I got a few weeks to figure that out and get that sorted out while we finish things up like this. And some welding on the bus, and clean up the back luggage rack area, the pop top. Get the windows out to check the sills, put the windows back in with new seals. After any sill repair are done, rust treatments, repairs, prime paint, whatever's needed in there, we're going to start happening. Got a few weeks left to try and get this done. The target is to be done by the end of May. So that's where we're at. We're going to keep going. Let's do it.